I dedicate this song to Monet McCain. Boo boo, I love you, and this is coming from your daddy. For sure. Come on. Yeah, I heard about the bullshit that was jumping off, boo boo. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Believe in the Lord and the laws of the Lord. And when you ride for the cause, keep an eye on the cause. You ever lose sight and you blind as a mole? We must decide if they rise, decide if they fall. Align with the light, you can shine on them all. We are designed to be strong. Sometimes we'll be right and sometimes we'll be wrong. We must weather the storm, it's the design of it all. We'll never know it all. Just love one another and honor father and mother. When you kind, it'll grow. Where hate you'll never know. It's called us out of the gutter and thoughts the spirit hovers. When you find you're in a hole, you search your inner soul and search to get the truth, and you find your where to go. It's a design of it all. You'll find what it means, a struggle to succeed when life is like a dream.
That's why the birds never cry, birds never cry. From the thunder and rain, just look into my eyes. That's why the birds never cry, birds never cry. The world is a ghetto, you got to stay alive. That's why the birds never cry, birds never cry. We're hoping for change and puffing on some light. That's why the birds never cry, birds never cry. Busy is back, only the strong survive.
So wipe the tears with a sleeve, and just cause you believe, one day you gon' have what you want, you gonna be. When the winds don't blow, and God'll make more. Keep an eye on the stone and know, just remember, the world gets dark, and you carry your heart. Just open up your eyes and inspire the whole heart. From the birds to the bees, the snakes in the trees, the lakes in the sea, and the breaks in the sea. And when the tide shifts down, and nobody's around, ain't nothing to be found. I don't make a sound, no nobody in no presence. And yes, you'll be in the essence of creation, and the making and the patience of the Satan's effervescence queen. Message to a king, and a gift to a prince, like a gift to a ring. For the love of a slave, yes, Adam and Eve, a slave that loved God before she bit the tree.
That's why the birds never cry, birds never cry. From the thunder and rain, just look into my eyes. That's why the birds never cry, birds never cry. The world is a ghetto, you got to stay alive. That's why the birds never cry, birds never cry. We're hoping for change and puffing on some light. That's why the birds never cry, birds never cry. Busy is back, only the strong survive.
If you do, then you damn. You don't, then you damn. You ever been in that situation without a plan? And if you try, then you can. Let's get up out the streets and hustle to get your money and make sure that you eat. I go to church and see sin get punched in the chin, and the brother saves his brother, you never do it again. And a child drinking him, you mad at his dad. I'm in the army just to keep this whole world in harmony. It ain't nothing like Shaq, whose dad walked out, who never knew he'd grow and rise and make it out. It's like God and the sun, a flower and a bun, a tower and a plane that never destroy none. It's the design of it all, the time of it all, the crime of it all, and the life of it all. Pick up your eyes to the sky and never ask why. You really know the answers, and
That's why the